Today I want to take a chance to talk about the applications on my iPhone that have stuck over the years, and they might not be the most normal applications or the standard applications that pretty much anybody has. They're not the chats, they're not the email programs, but all kinds of other things that I think are important, and they're also the applications that I get rid of sometimes, but then I keep coming back to them after a couple of years. So just let's get started with the first one. The first one on the list is 1Password, and it's the password manager that I've been using for the last, 5 to 10 years almost, basically since I've been using a Mac. And it is, in my opinion, the most well-designed one, and it is also the one that just works the best in my experience. The one problem that I have is the direction that the company is going at the moment with this whole membership kind of thing. Right now, my passwords are still synchronized with the iCloud, and I have a standalone version without a monthly subscription, but I don't know how long this will actually be lasting me. So I'm crossing my fingers that it will last for a long time, but we will see how that goes. For now, it stays on my phone and it's my go-to password manager, as well as credit card information and stuff like that. Then we have Pocket. Pocket is a read later service, and it's probably the more well-known version of it, because there has been Instapaper, for example, which I've been turned to by a friend a couple of years ago when I was a student, and it was great. It was minimalistic and I just loved it overall. It's a great experience. But then the app got sold and the service got rerun by different companies, and that kind of got annoying to a certain point, and so I searched for an alternative and found Pocket. Because of this insecurity with Instapaper, I didn't really want to go that route to stick with them, and I changed to Pocket, and that has been stuck with me for the last couple of years, and it's been great. It's a read later service which also has the ability to read articles to you on your phone, and that's a service that I use a lot because I love listening to stuff instead of reading it. The only thing that I would wish they would have is that they would integrate a speed reading mechanism for the times that I actually want to read something. Then we have the Kindle app. Reading is something that has been increasing in my importance, and it's definitely something to kind of consume long-form content in form of books. It's actually so important nowadays to me that I also carry a Kindle, but the ability to synchronize between my Kindle and my iPhone is great, especially for those ebooks that also come with an audiobook, or I can get the accompanying audiobook so I can just switch between reading and listening to the book, and that's been amazing for my taste overall. Then we have Oak. Oak is a meditation app, and I choose Oak because it's very minimalistic, it's very simple, and it doesn't come with all the thousands of meditations that other services have. Yep, you heard me right, it's about not having those. Because this way it kind of forces me to limit my options, and that's really good if I want to just go into a meditation zone where I more often than not nowadays actually choose not to have any sounds at all except for the bells that indicate the time. The next one in my list is again something with audio, and it's Overcast. It's my go-to podcast player, and that is mainly due to the smart speed as well as the interface design and voice booster. For me, this is definitely my favorite podcast application because of the features that I just named. And I would actually hope that other audio applications like Audible, for example, would implement the smart speed as well as the voice booster, because often audiobooks aren't necessarily made to be speed read. But nowadays with the speed reading, the 2x and stuff like that, I would just love to have that feature in other audio applications. For now, I only have that ability with podcasts, but that's already a great win, because listening to something at double or even 3 times the speed is something that is super helpful to get more information into my brain. And then we have Audible. Just as I've mentioned before, I would really like to have Audible with the smart speed from Overcast, but for now, it's the best choice for audiobooks with a subscription and all that kind of stuff. It works great, and it's amazing to have an alternative to reading something. Next on my list, I have Google Translate. Traveling the world and all kinds of different places has me learning, or at least trying to understand, different languages all the time. And Google Translate helps me with that immensely. It is really good because you can offline translate. You can also translate whole conversations with voice input and stuff like that. It's been incredibly helpful to get understanding on different borders, or with rent situations, or other kind of like situations where you don't have the same language, and it's been super helpful to be able to just translate things on the go very easily. Now I have a controversial one for you, which is called Evernote. Evernote has been a love-hate relationship for me. They are really good in storing information and making it searchable, especially with PDFs and OCR, where they actually make your stuff searchable even if it's handwriting or something like that. The only problem that I have with them is that they're seemingly stagnant in certain areas. For example, I've been waiting for Markdown support for years, and it's also been a little bit of a frustration because they removed presentation mode out of iOS, which nobody really understands, and there's a ton of requests in the forum, but oh well, that is what we are currently dealing with. For now, I have to stick with Evernote because it has so much information of my stuff already that it really would be stupid to move anywhere else. If I would recommend it to anybody at this point, I'm not really sure because I'm locked into the system. I have all my stuff in there. I still kind of have to use it. But if I would choose it again, I don't really know because I haven't been looking at alternatives because obviously I'm not going to switch anytime soon. Next up, we have Google Photos. It's been an incredible replacement for the normal Photos app on my phone, and it is also on computer. It's just amazing to have photos backed up online in the cloud as well as videos. And the artificial intelligence that makes it all searchable, especially for stuff like you just search for cat and you see all the cat photos that you have on your phone or in that album, is amazing. Freeing up space through the automatic backup into the cloud and then deleting all the local files, also really, really helpful if you don't have enough space on your phone. I definitely recommend this one. It's a great one if you trust Google. And then we have Fantastical. I don't really love or hate any of the calendar apps that are currently out there. I got that version and it's been mind-blowing at the time, especially with the normal language input of their calendar events. So that's been really helpful. And ever since I tried others, but I keep coming back to Fantastical because it is a really good calendar application and I just enjoy it to use and also to just make my appointments in there. Now we have an old one, but a good one. It's called Omnifocus, and it's been also recommended to me by a friend while studying a couple of years ago. It's a task management application, and it's the main reason for me with this application is that it's super complex and you can do a lot of things with it that other applications can't do in the task management area. The downside, however, is that it doesn't support any team support. But is it really a downside? For me, at this point, not really, because not having the team functionality gives me the responsibility to manage my own task management system, and then I can use the team's task management system on the other hand as well. The main aspect in this is that I don't really work with teams that much. Most of the things I do are on my own, but I need a place where I can put my tasks in my system and in my style, and that is Omnifocus, and it works. I've deleted it multiple times over the last few years, and I've switched between different task management applications all the time, but Omnifocus is the one that I keep coming back to, so it's a really good one, even though it is kind of expensive. And now we only have two left. One of them is called IA Writer, and the other one is Lightroom Cc. Let's talk about IA Writer first. IA Writer essentially is a Markdown editor, and I just love it. I don't do a lot of writing, or I haven't done a lot of writing in the past, but now I do more and more writing. In preparation of videos, I script write. I write my emails in IA Writer because it just is such a nice interface and so much more beautiful. And especially with the support of Markdown, it's super helpful as well. You can immediately format things and have a second screen or a second window where you see how it is formatted. You have dark mode, you have light mode, and it just overall, the fonts, everything, I just love how the design interface of this one works, and the synchronization between iPhone and Mac is really helpful as well. And it's actually the one that I've been reading my notes from. And then Lightroom Cc. On my Mac, I actually don't like the Lightroom Cc version. I prefer the classic version a lot because it has so much more depth in everything that you can do with it. But on the phone, Lightroom Cc, it's super powerful. And I've been using all kinds of photo editors on my phone, and between VSCO Cam, Google's application, as well as Lightroom, Lightroom is the one that I have put in my dock. It's the one that I use as a camera. I do my DNGs or my raw photos with it, and I organize my stuff in it as well. I'm super happy that Adobe is finally catching up with the mobile versions of their applications with Adobe Project Rush for video editing, as well as this Lightroom. And it's powerful, it's really great, and I hear that it's amazing on the iPad Pro as well. But I don't really rock an iPad at the moment. I only have my iPhone and my MacBook, and the combination between Lightroom CC and Lightroom Classic, even that works a little bit. So I'm really happy with the combination. On top of that, the camera profiles, as well as the presets that you can synchronize from Lightroom CC on your desktop to your Lightroom mobile is endless possibilities, and I just love that integration. So that's been my list of applications that I have on my phone that I keep coming back to, or that just stuck around for a long time and they're not messengers or stuff like normal things that everybody kind of has. If you're interested in another video about this kind of stuff or other applications that I use, why I use them, and kind of like all those kind of things, leave me a comment down below and let me know, because if you don't tell me, I will never know. So with that said, I will leave all the links in the description below so you can check out all the services and applications that I'm using here. And also please leave me comments in the description if you have any suggestions as to alternatives to these applications or additions. I will see you in the next one. Bye.